Americans are preparing to mark 20 years since the 9/11 attacks in New York, Washington, and Pennsylvania. This is a live look right now at Ground Zero in Manhattan, where, of course, the first planes hit on September 11th, 2001, taking down the North Tower, then the South. Today, as you can see right there, it is the home to the 9/11 Memorial.
And this morning, we're also getting a live look at the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C. There you see the rotunda. That is where U.S. fighter pilots were sent to protect that morning. Hijackers had already hit both the World Trade Towers in New York and the Pentagon. And that fourth plane, the one that went down in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, its intended target was the United States Capitol or the White House. But passengers on board, they fought those hijackers back, and the plane then went down, not hurting any of the civilians that would have been in the Capitol at the time. In the early chaos of 9/11, Fargo native Al Marchand was fighting for his life as well, and the lives of the 65 passengers that were on board United Flight 175. Marchand was a 1975 Shanley High School graduate, and he was a longtime police officer in New Mexico. This is a picture of him right there in his police gear. But then he took a job as a flight attendant for United Airlines.
Yeah, he was working for Flight 175 that took off from Boston on its way to Los Angeles before hijackers breached the cockpit. The plane's transponder was on, and air traffic controllers saw the plane diverting to New York. It hit the South Tower at 9:06 a.m. It was the only crash that day that was televised around the world. Al Marchand was 44. And there's another Fargo connection to that awful day. Among the F-16 pilots who were called to protect the U.S. Capitol on 9/11 were 3 pilots from the Fargo-based Happy Hooligans, the North Dakota Air National Guard. They were stationed at Langley Air Force Base in Virginia at the time.
After 9/11, an aviation artist was commissioned to paint Hooligan Viper 926. This is it right there. You see 926 written on the tail of that plane. It's a beautiful image commemorating that day. That was piloted by Major Dean Eckman of Fargo. Now, this painting is on display currently at the Pentagon.
A lot of events commemorating 9/11 start today, go into tomorrow. Let's get a check of what people can expect when they're outside today.
Well, the good news is that we are looking at dry conditions for any of those events outdoors, but some big temperature changes going on here over the next couple of days. We've got a little wind out there. It's waving that flag at the home of economy in Grand Forks on our sky cam there, looking nice. But that wind is actually helping us out to keep our temperatures from dropping as much as they did yesterday in most locations. You may notice in Bemidji right now we're reporting a temperature of 47, a little cooler there. And here is why. We've got a calm report there. So the wind not helping to keep that air moving and keeping it from cooling down. Elsewhere, we've got enough wind out of the south or southeast where we're staying in the 50s. It's 59 in Fargo, 56 in Grand Forks and Langdon at 54. It's 59 in Fergus Falls and 51 in the Jamestown area. So nice and mild here to start off this morning. It's clear. We've got some dry weather for today. Perhaps a few clouds working their way in and becoming a little more partly cloudy by this afternoon. But beyond that, a good day and a warm one at that to be outdoors. So make sure if you're going to be attending any of these events that you are finding ways to stay cool and dressing for it. Today is going to be hottest out to the west. We're going to be in those upper 80s to near 90. Some of us out in the Bismarck and Minot areas will be well into the 90s today. Over to the east, more into the low 80s, but everybody on the warm side. So feeling more like summertime for one more day at least. And I can't guarantee we'll see 80s again this season. You know, we're working our way through September, so it's going to start to cool down pretty quickly, and that happens as early as tomorrow. So if you've got some Patriot Day events to attend tomorrow in the morning hours, I know a lot of things are going on then. Make sure you're dressed for some cooler weather. We'll be in the 50s to start, not too bad, but we just don't warm up as much. We're going to end up into the 60s to some low 70s for highs. Staying dry, but more on the partly to mostly cloudy side tomorrow with those cooler temperatures.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. Nearly 3,000 people were killed on 9/11 when 4 planes crashed in New York, Washington, and Pennsylvania. The Grand Forks Fire Department and Air Force Base in Grand Forks are remembering 9/11 20 years later.
And that's where we find the Valley Today's Brian Sherrod. He joins us live with a preview of what to expect if you go to their remembrance ceremonies. Good morning, Brian.
And good morning, Jordan and Lisa. That's exactly right. This event's going to be going on Saturday, and I'm not alone. I'm here with Chris Carlson to talk all about it. Thank you for being here with me this morning again.
Well, thank you.
As we're here in this equipment trailer, I guess what should we expect just going through here, and what should people expect as well?
Sure. This is one of our static displays that we'll have at our open house. This is a technical rescue trailer. If you walk inside, in here we have a variety of equipment that we're able to respond to structural collapse, trench rescue, rope rescue, which will be on display at our open house. So as a fire department, we have a lot of different calls that we need to go on, and a lot of different equipment that we need to go ahead and use on those various calls.
Perfect. So I know with the few seconds we have left, how important it is for people to come out.
It's an awesome event. It's a great time to go out and showcase what we have and to positively interact with the community. We love seeing all the little kids out there, the parents, college students, high school students that want to become, a firefighter. So it's going to be a great time. We'd love to see everyone out.
Well, perfect. Of course, thank you so much for being here with me this morning. And again, all the details that we just mentioned can be found on our website, thevalleynewslive.com. Jordan and Lisa, back to you.
And it's also a good time to go there and thank them for everything that we do, especially as we look back at 9/11 and we see what firefighters and other emergency responders did that day. And we know that people around here go into dangerous situations all the time as well. So yeah, good time to just thank them for their service to the community. Brian Sherrod reporting live. Thank you this morning.
And here's a list of some of the other 9/11 events happening in the Valley today and this weekend. Davies High School is hosting a flag-raising ceremony later this morning. Students will recite the 10 elements of the freedom flag, play the national anthem, and there will also be a commemorative piece on the bagpipes. That starts at 9 this morning.
The Fargo Public Library is hosting a 9/11 poster exhibit to showcase its history as well. It features stories, personal stories of people who witnessed and survived the attacks. The event is all day tomorrow and it's free to the public. Bonanzaville in West Fargo is marking the day with a Veterans Patriot Day 5K and 10K tomorrow. Registration starts at 7 a.m. The race kicks off at 8:30. The Fargo AmVets is also holding a program to recognize the event 20 years ago.
It starts at 9:25 in the morning, which is about the time one of the hijackers contacted air traffic controllers for the first time that day, alerting them to the attacks that would happen within minutes. Fargo AmVets is located at 1001 First Avenue South. Fergus Falls Police are also hosting a walk of remembrance tomorrow.
It's to honor the brave Americans who endured that day. The walk will be at 8:46 a.m. Now that's the time that the First World Trade Tower was hit.
And if you're up for a road trip this weekend, you might want to check out the 9/11 ceremony at the International Peace Gardens on the U.S.-Canadian border near Bottineau, North Dakota. It's happening at 10 tomorrow morning near the Gardens 9/11 Memorial.
The Peace Garden has a sculpture made up of pieces from the World Trade Center after it fell and was then later demolished. In 2010, each state received iron remnants from the collapsed towers to use as memorials to honor that day in history. If you go tomorrow, people ask that you're in place in your seat by 9:45 before that ceremony starts. Fargo has been waiting for this for quite some time, and now we're just 9 days away from the opening of that new Amazon facility. Go time. It's Sunday, September 19th.
The online retailer is offering extra benefits as well to attract some new hires because of the continuing labor shortage here in the Valley. Amazon is hoping to create 1,000 new jobs in the market, and they have plans to help their employees with college costs. The company has set up a career choice program that will start in January. They will pay for full-time college tuition, and it'll be prepaid fees instead of reimbursements.
Plus, there's something called limitless learning. That means employees have no time limit on these benefits as long as they're employed with Amazon. They'll be paid for $15 an hour for new workers. They also offer full medical, vision, and dental. New hires will hopefully come from the FM area.
Let's get our answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. Here's today's question. 25% of people have stayed in a relationship because they liked this about their partner.
The answer is they preferred their dog. And ladies, I'm sure you'll say sometimes the dog smelled better than the man.
It happens. It does. Remember, you can play along every weekday morning by heading to our Valley News Live Facebook page. The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but remember, the Valley Today rolls on. Join us right now for more live up-to-the-minute news and weather on the Fargo CW. Have a great day, everyone.